Hey everybody, welcome to 5-Star Cooking at Home. I'm Johnny Prep, and today we're going to be talking about pastas. Really easy pan pastas, all of them that you can make under 30 minutes. We're going to start with an angel hair pasta with a light tomato sauce. We've got some prosciutto. Well, that's cooking up a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about prosciutto. Prosciutto has an awesome flavor. It comes from the Parma region of Italy, although there are some made domestically. And what I like to do is I like to take prosciutto and make bacon out of it by taking it in really thin strips, putting some foil and putting some non-stick spray so it doesn't stick, because it will, and putting it in an oven on 350 degrees until it's nice and crispy, which is about 10-15 minutes. When you're done, you end up with nice crispy prosciutto. The flavor intensifies, which is kind of fun, and you've cooked the grease out of it, so it's a little bit. The funny thing about tomatoes is that when you start cooking tomatoes, don't put any stock in with the tomatoes right away. Let them cook down just with olive oil, because the olive oil itself breaks them down and starts to make them into a little bit of a sauce. Now while that's cooking, I want to talk a little bit about the pasta. In this particular dish, we're going to use angel hair pasta. Now when you're cooking at home, what I really suggest, you're going to take a big pot of water, use plenty of water, salt the water heavily, add a little bit of olive oil to it. You can use regular, don't use extra virgin, it's not worth it. And get that water good and boiling before you put the pasta in. Cook it and taste it about a minute before the manufacturer's directions say, so that you have a chance at getting it al dente, which means it's just got a little bit of firmness or crunch to it. Not much, but just a little bit. That's the way you want it. Now, one thing I'll tell you is if you're going to buy a package of spaghetti noodles, which usually comes in 1-pound packages, cook the whole thing. Even if you're only going to use part of it, cook the whole thing, because when you take this out and you drain it, and you toss it with olive oil and let it cool off, you can put this in a baggie, and you can keep it in that baggie in your fridge for over a week, and it's just fine. You can just take it out, put it on a plate, and microwave it and heat it up, and toss it with whatever sauce you have. Pesto, if you have some leftover sauce from this, you can do an easy Alfredo, whatever, but it's really very convenient, and then you're not reheating the kitchen every time you got to boil water for noodles. And it's really convenient for your kids when they're like hungry and they want something quick. Pop the noodles in the microwave, put a little sauce. We're going to go ahead and add our pine nuts. Lots of nice roasted pine nuts. I've got about a half cup of pine nuts in there. Looks beautiful. Now we're going to take this prosciutto bacon, and we're just going to crumble it in there like that. That is going to add a tremendous amount of flavor. Just a tremendous. I'm going to save just a little bit of that bacon for the end for the garnish. Now we've got our tomatoes softening up a little bit from the olive oil. You can see, because the oil in the bottom of the pan starts to pick up the color from the tomatoes. You can see that right there. So those tomatoes are starting to break down in that olive oil, which is good. Oh, that smells so good. You know, cooking is like aromatherapy. You know, you don't really need to go out and spend a lot of money at some fancy spa. Just put your head over a beautiful dish like this, and it's like instant gratification. It's like, yummy, yummy. People walk in the door and their mouths start to water, and you know, they know you got something good cooking. So now you see the sauce isn't really a heavy tomato sauce, it's a thinner sauce, it's a lighter sauce, which is what we want. We're trying to go for a little lighter pasta, a little easier pasta. We're going to go ahead and take our pasta and toss it in there. Then what we want to do at the end, because there's one very important ingredient that we haven't got in there, but this ingredient does very, very well if you use it without cooking it in a more raw state, and that is basil. Take a few leaves. You know, some people say that you have to stack the leaves up in order to get a chiffonade. I say you just crunch it together in your fingers like that, and you put a little chiffonade on it. You sprinkle it on top just like that. Get all that beautiful fresh basil. You take the rest of your prosciutto, bacon, you crisp it on top, and there you have a light, delicious, fast pan sauce pasta.